Breaking news. Stop whatever you're doing because the streets are on fire right now and the tea is boiling hotter than Jim Jones' temper when someone forgets his name at the club. Camron and Chrissy Lampkin caught slipping in a secret night out that nobody was supposed to know about, but guess what? We know. And if you think this is just two friends grabbing dinner, you might as well log off now, because this is bigger, juicier, and messier than any Dipset reunion gone wrong. What happens when the Harlem legend who gave us pink furs and purple Lambos sneaks off with the first lady of love and hip-hop behind Jim Jones' back? Is this betrayal? Is this payback? Or is it just the kind of reckless behavior that fuels reality? TV spin-offs? The cameras weren't rolling, but trust me, the receipts are. Anonymous insiders, whispered leaks, and late-night sightings are painting a picture that's less catching up over cocktails, and more destroying an empire one glass of rose at a time. And let's not forget Jim Jones. How long? Do you think it'll take before the man who invented We Fly High decides to ground both of them permanently? Buckle up, because this isn't just drama. This is scandal with a capital S. And it's about to get real uncomfortable, so let us start peeling back the layers of this mess, because what looks like just another night out in New York has turned into the kind of story that feels like it was ripped straight out of a soap opera with a hip-hop twist. We have Camron, Harlem's pride, and the master of turning scandals into fuel for his legend, caught up with Chrissy Lampkin, the fiery first lady of love and hip-hop whose temper and loyalty to Jim Jones have been the central theme of her reality TV persona for over a decade. Put these two together without Jim in sight and it is no longer a coincidence. It is the spark of a scandal waiting to explode. This is not just about dinner or drinks, this is about betrayal in a culture where loyalty is more than a word. It is a code, and when that code is broken, the fallout is always messy. Imagine the optics, Camron sliding into an exclusive spot. After hours, Chrissy arriving minutes later looking like she is there for more than just casual conversation. Anonymous sources are whispering that they did not just stumble into each other, but that this was planned and kept off the radar, with private rooms, closed curtains, and champagne bottles delivered without the cameras catching a thing. That is where it starts to feel like something bigger than a hangout, something orchestrated, almost like a power move behind Jim's back. Now the history between these three makes this even juicier because Cam and Jim were not just collaborators. They were family by choice. They built Dipset together, fought battles side by side, and turned Harlem into a brand recognized around the world. Their loyalty was the stuff of legend until it started cracking under pressure. Money issues, creative disagreements, public fallouts, and that lingering feeling that each man wanted the crown all chipped away at what they once had. Enter Chrissy, Jim's partner, his ride or die, the woman who held her ground on love and hip-hop and never hesitated to put her relationship on the front lines. She and Camron have known each other for years through Jim, but never in this context, never sneaking away without Jim's knowledge. That is where the scandal finds its teeth, because people are not just asking why, but what exactly is happening here. And when whispers turn into leaked details, it paints a picture of more than innocent catching up. According to the so-called insiders, Cam and Chrissy were seen laughing and leaning in close, body language screaming familiarity that goes beyond friendship. Some even claim that at one point she reached over and touched his arm in a way that did not feel platonic, a move that made the source swear this was more than a friendly reunion. They reportedly stayed together for hours, leaving separately, but within minutes of each other, both making sure to use side exits and avoid any lurking paparazzi. If this was really nothing, why go to such lengths to keep it hidden? Why meet in places where cameras are banned and staff are known to sign an ND as just to keep celebrity secrets under wraps? That is the part that smells suspicious, because if there was nothing to hide, they could have just linked up publicly like everyone else in the industry does. Instead, they chose the shadows. And when people choose the shadows, it usually means they are guarding something worth hiding. The reactions from the people around them have only added more gasoline to the fire. Friends of Jim say he's been feeling uneasy for weeks, sensing that Chrissy was distracted and maybe not being fully honest about her whereabouts. Some even claim he was warned by someone close to Dipset that Cam and Chrissy were getting too cozy, but Jim brushed it off as gossip, because he could not imagine his best friend and his partner being careless enough to cross that line. And yet, here we are with details spilling out faster than anyone can control them, and every new piece of the puzzle looks worse than the last. It is almost Shakespearean, betrayal not from an enemy but from those closest to you. Camron, the brother-in-arms, Chrissy, the woman Jim has defended countless times on national television, both stepping into a situation that looks like a knife in the back. What makes this even more complicated is the timing. Cam has been making noise recently about his comeback energy, stepping back into the spotlight with podcasts, appearances, and new projects that remind people why his name still holds weight. Chrissy, meanwhile, has been relatively quiet publicly, but always remains tied to Jim's image. Put them together secretly, and suddenly people are speculating whether this was about business, personal tension, or something much more intimate. Some say it is about leverage, that Cam is using Chrissy to get under Jim's skin after years of simmering resentment. Others say Chrissy has been frustrated with Jim and found a kind of comfort in someone who knows that world just as well as he does. Either way, the optics are disastrous, because nothing about this situation screams harmless. It screams betrayal, secrecy, and scandal tailor-made for blogs, YouTube breakdowns, and endless social media debates. And then there is the public's reaction. As soon as the rumors leaked, Twitter and Instagram lit up with memes, speculation, and outrage. Some fans sided with Cam, saying he has always been the kind of man who does what he wants without worrying about fallout. Others blamed Chrissy, calling her disloyal and reckless for putting herself in that position. And of course, many defended Jim, painting him as the unsuspecting victim in a triangle of betrayal he did not sign up for. The noise has gotten so loud that even people outside of the hip-hop world are starting to weigh in, turning this private scandal into a full-blown public spectacle. The narrative is being shaped in real time, and none of the three can fully control it anymore. So now we sit at a boiling point where every new leak, every blurry photo, and every quote from an unnamed source threatens to turn suspicion into confirmation. Jim Jones has not spoken publicly yet, but those closest to him say his silence is not peace, it is pressure building. Camron is brushing it off with his trademark smirk, but for a man who lives by loyalty, being accused of betrayal cuts deep, whether he admits it or not. And Chrissy, caught in the middle, is trying to downplay the whole thing, claiming it was innocent, but the damage may already be done. Because once a story like this takes root, it grows wild, feeding on every rumor and every whisper until it becomes a storm nobody can ignore. The story only deepens as more so-called insider details start surfacing, and it begins to feel less like a coincidence and more like a carefully hidden arrangement that was never supposed to reach the public eye yet somehow did and now refuses to die down. People who claim to have been in the same venue say that this was not the first time Cam and Chrissy were spotted together, whispering in corners, slipping into private lounges, and leaving just minutes apart like they thought nobody would notice. Some staff even claimed they were instructed to avoid eye contact, to not even acknowledge who was in the room, as if protecting a secret bigger than just celebrity privacy. That makes the whole thing smell even more suspicious, because if nothing wrong was happening, why take so many extra steps to hide it? The image that starts forming is of a double life. Chrissy presenting herself as Jim's loyal partner in public while finding comfort in Cam's company away from the cameras. And Cam enjoying the thrill of pushing boundaries while pretending that loyalty is still intact. This is not just personal drama, it is a betrayal that carries business weight too, because Dipset's image has always been about brotherhood and respect, two values that seem to have been tossed aside the second these meetings began. The scandal has now taken on a life of its own, with bloggers publishing alleged timelines of secret rendezvous, podcasters creating entire episodes dissecting body language, and fans stitching together old interviews where Cam or Chrissy might have hinted at hidden tension. Suddenly every laugh, every look, every subtle moment in the past is being replayed, as proof that this was brewing for longer than anyone thought. Some claim the seeds of this scandal go back years when Jim and Cam first fell out publicly, and Chrissy was vocal about not wanting to deal with the constant drama that came with Dipset politics. According to those who followed every twist and turn of their reality show careers, Chrissy had little patience for Cam's antics, and Cam had little patience for Chrissy's bluntness. Yet the tension may have masked something else entirely. Something that now appears to be surfacing in the most destructive way possible. Whether or not these theories are true almost does not matter anymore, because perception has become reality, and the more people talk, the more damaging it becomes for everyone involved. The public has also started noticing the lavish details behind These secret meets, with sources describing expensive dinners, top-shelf liquor, and private drivers being arranged to pick Chrissy up from locations where Jim was nowhere in sight. One alleged friend of Cam told a gossip outlet that he has been treating Chrissy like royalty behind closed doors, while another anonymous voice swore that Chrissy looked happier with Cam than she had in years with Jim. Of course, none of this is proven, but in the world of scandal, perception matters more than fact. And the image of Chrissy being wined and dined while Jim sits at home blindsided is enough to ignite outrage. Fans have taken to social media with hashtags, creating trending topics that mock the situation. Some posting memes of Cam wearing his signature pink fur next to Chrissy, while Jim stands in the background looking furious. The internet has turned what might have been a quiet dispute into a circus that is impossible to contain. Jim's reaction behind the scenes is being painted as a mix of fury and heartbreak, with insiders saying he confronted Chrissy as soon as the rumors became impossible to ignore. Reports suggest their arguments have been loud and emotional, with Jim demanding answers and Chrissy insisting that nothing inappropriate happened. But Jim is no fool, and he has lived long enough in this industry to know that smoke usually means fire. Some of his friends have allegedly told him that Cam is playing a dangerous game, using Chrissy as a weapon to get back at him after years of tension and betrayal within Dipset. If that is true, then this is not just a scandal about love or lust, it is a power play, a strategic strike at Jim's pride and position. For Cam, the move could be calculated revenge, a way to assert dominance in the Harlem hierarchy, while for Chrissy it may be about feeling neglected and finding someone who understands her frustrations with Jim. Regardless of the motives, the fallout has already begun, and the cracks in their relationships are widening with every new headline. Meanwhile, Camron has not gone silent. He has done what he always does, using sarcasm and jokes to brush off the scandal, posting cryptic messages that hint at knowing more than he says and laughing off the speculation like it does not bother him. But that kind of performance only fuels the fire because fans interpret it as confirmation that he has something to hide, and his refusal to outright deny anything leaves the door wide open for the worst assumptions. Some supporters admire the way he handles the chaos, calling it classic Cam behavior, while others accuse him of being reckless and disrespectful to the very people who helped build his career. His refusal to clear the air is starting to look less like confidence and more like arrogance, and in a culture where loyalty is currency, it could cost him more than just a few angry tweets. As the story continues to unfold, the fallout from Camron and Chrissy Lampkin's secret night out has begun to reach a fever pitch, with consequences spreading far beyond what anyone could have anticipated, and what started as a few whispered rumors has exploded into a full-blown spectacle that is captivating fans across social media and making headlines in every corner of hip-hop commentary. Jim Jones, who has long been considered a pillar of loyalty and authority in his circle, is reportedly dealing with a whirlwind of emotions, ranging from anger to betrayal to disbelief as he tries to process what exactly happened behind his back, and how someone he trusted so completely could be involved in a scenario that looks like a calculated betrayal. Sources close to him say that Jim has been confronting associates, questioning their knowledge of these secret meetings, and trying to determine how deep this all goes and whether Cam and Chrissy acted alone or if others in their inner circle were complicit in keeping these encounters hidden from him. The intrigue is thick because every layer that peels back seems to reveal more secrecy and more potential damage to reputations, relationships, and the delicate balance of power that has kept this tight-knit community functioning for years. Chrissy Lampkin, meanwhile, is navigating the backlash with her own brand of calculated defense, insisting to those around her that the meetings with Cam were innocent and purely about reconnecting over old friendships, but the optics are difficult to overcome because multiple accounts suggest that their interactions were more intimate than she has publicly claimed, and the fact that they went out of their way to avoid cameras only amplifies the suspicion. Fans and insiders alike are dissecting every social media post she has made in the weeks leading up to the revelation, looking for signs that she might have been aware of the brewing scandal and perhaps even orchestrating parts of it. Some speculate that Chrissy was seeking attention or validation that she felt was missing in her relationship with Jim, while others argue that she may have been trying to assert independence in a world where her personal decisions are constantly scrutinized. Regardless of the motive, the effect is the same. Trust has been eroded and the public is consuming every detail like a real-time soap opera. Camron, who has always thrived in situations where controversy fuels his persona, is reportedly unfazed on the surface, but insiders hint that he is enjoying the disruption and the attention this scandal is generating. It is classic camp behavior to push boundaries and turn chaos into a spectacle, and his smirks and cryptic social media posts suggest he knows exactly how to manipulate public perception. Some sources say he is taking advantage of the situation to position himself strategically in the ongoing power dynamics of Harlem and the hip-hop world at large, potentially leveraging the scandal to reignite interest in his projects and reignite his own brand while the drama unfolds. Cam's confidence only serves to irritate Jim further and leaves Chrissy caught in the middle as accusations, rumors, and speculations swirl around both of them. The public's reaction has become an essential part of the narrative as social media erupts with hot takes, memes, and heated debates about loyalty and betrayal, with fans taking sides almost immediately. Some defend Camron as a master strategist simply exercising his freedom, while others vilify Chrissy for allegedly crossing lines that should never have been crossed in front of cameras or off. Meanwhile, Jim Jones is painted as the unsuspecting victim in a triangle of secrecy and intrigue that has been months in the making, according to some theories. And if these leaks and insider accounts are to be believed, his silence has only added fuel to the public's obsession with uncovering the truth. Everyone from casual listeners to hardcore hip-hop fans is weighing in, and the sheer volume of speculation has made it impossible for the players involved to contain the narrative. Behind the scenes, legal and financial concerns are beginning to emerge as well. Sources suggest that contracts, public appearances, and endorsements could be affected depending on how this story evolves and whether any of the parties are seen as compromising their professional obligations or breaking agreements that govern their public personas and business partnerships. While nothing is confirmed, the possibility of lawsuits, settlements, or public rebukes adds a new layer of tension to the saga and makes the outcome even more unpredictable. Fans and insiders are watching closely, wondering if this scandal could permanently alter careers or just serve as another chapter in the ongoing drama that surrounds all three of these figures. Meanwhile, the tension within the personal relationships involved is reaching critical mass. Jim's trust has been shaken, and those close to him indicate he is reevaluating his associations not only with Cam and Chrissy but with other people in his inner circle who may have known more than they let on. Chrissy is reportedly struggling to maintain credibility and defend her actions, while Cam remains in his element, seemingly enjoying the disruption and the attention that comes with being at the center of such a massive controversy. The dynamic is volatile, and every move made by any of the parties can quickly escalate the situation, drawing more attention and intensifying the fallout. As the story continues to spread across social media and entertainment outlets every day, brings new commentary, speculation, and potential revelations. The scandal is no longer confined to a single city or social circle. It has become a cultural event that people discuss, dissect, and debate globally. The intrigue, betrayal, and secrecy have combined with lavish settings, celebrity personalities, and the timeless appeal of forbidden interactions to create a narrative that captivates fans and casual observers alike. Camron and Chrissy Lampkin's night out is no longer just an anecdote, it is a phenomenon. And Jim Jones' reaction, whether public or private, remains one of the most anticipated elements of this evolving story. So now that you've heard the shocking details, the whispers, and the alleged betrayals surrounding Camron, Chrissy Lampkin, and Jim Jones, we want to hear from you. What do you think really happened behind those closed doors? Was this just innocent reconnecting between old friends? Or is there a deeper story of betrayal, secrecy, and power plays that the public isn't fully aware of? Can Jim Jones recover from this blow, or is the trust he had in both Cam and Chrissy irreparably broken? And what about Cam? Will he keep playing the smooth operator while the scandal rages, or is there a reckoning on the horizon? We want your hot takes, your theories, and even your wildest conspiracies, because in a story this juicy, every perspective counts. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation started. If you want to stay on top of every twist and turn, every leaked detail, and every shocking revelation in this ongoing saga, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you're the first to know when we break More explosive stories just like this one. Stick with us because the drama is far from over, and you won't want to miss a single moment of what comes next.